a while since we've seen Void. He was on a really hot streak about the middle of the seasonal pack, took a top cut at, I believe, it was Empires of the Ascended with Invoke. Came very close to topping the next one, I believe, but Void been around the scene for forever. Long time player. Very excited to see them. I don't know if we just haven't noticed Void recently, if they actually did take a little bit of a break. It's hard for us to keep track of everybody on every week, but I am excited to see Void returning to compete. Do you want to tell me what deck lists he's brought today, JDoza?
That's a great question, Boulevard.
Okay, I'll talk about Deriva's first. So Deriva brought Zed Poppy, Zoe Leeson, and Plunder. So some standard decks. Gonna definitely something that you could see being a seasonal lineup, topping the seasonal, even winning the seasonal, because that is coming up next weekend. Do not forget.
Yes.
This is a road to the seasonal OLS X Mobalytics tournament.
Beyond Worlds, which I keep confusing as the World Championship. So, anyways, we have on the side of Void from Team OTK, we have Plunder, which again, we kind of expected to see a lot of, again, with the one of Field of Rush too. Lysandra Talia, we got some Thrall action. All right, pretty typical build from what I'm looking at here. And last but not least, oh, hey, look, a true Field of Rush deck with Trundle Trinity, which we have started seeing pop up a little bit more nowadays, Boulevard. So I'm excited to see this deck and whether or not it got banned in this matchup too.
Yeah, I have to restart my client because Deriva is not in game for me.
Oh, leave it to the client. Of course, it's the client's fault, Boulevard. It's always the client's fault.
Well, yeah, it's I can challenge Deriva to a game. I can't spectate. What that got to do with me?
Monster Harpoon gonna secure this kill onto Poppy though, which is actually a pretty big deal. Leaving Deriva with not the greatest field, although Young Witch is going to be able to pair nicely with the Fleet Feather Tracker, pick off some units. Okay, things are changing. Now we have a Zed down. Things got pretty spicy pretty quickly here, Boulevard. I think Deriva is going to be pretty good to be the aggressor now. And
Deriva's just going to win this before I can even get into their perspective.
They might. If there's a rally, they might. There's only 3 mana, so there won't be a rally this turn. But
those Dreadways not doing anything in a matchup like this.
Nope. Neither really is the Monkey Idol, to be honest with you, so it feels
Look,
bad.
It'll make chump blockers, just not right now.
All right, let's see if we're able to get the Reva's hand in just a second here, too. See what we're working with here, if there is a rally or not.
Even if there's not. Even if there's not,
a Zed on field is still pretty...
There's a Ghost.
Yeah. All right, yeah, Ghost will do it.
And we drew a rally. Okay. That's...
Oh, there it is.
That's the ball game.
There it is.
Ghost will level the Zed, assuredly, I believe. I think a Shadow got through on the previous turn. Zed should be at 1 out of 2. It won't tell me that Zed's at 1 out of 2 because I came in late on the spectate, but yeah, I definitely think this one is just going the way of Deriva LOR.
While we're here, we're staring at a deck that is very popular, especially on ladder lately. This aggressive Zed, elusive, whatever the heck you want to call it, deck rally. Do you think Relentless Pursuit or Golden Aegis is strictly better?
Golden Aegis.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I do like the change they made to Relentless, but
I'm more of a mid-range Demacia player than a 6 rally Demacia player, so I'm more of like a Shen Fiora, Sivir Octron kind of guy.
Yep. Well, I mean, Relentless, but now with them both being 4 mana, I mean, they're both more mid-rangey, if that makes sense, I guess, in a way, right? I mean, the +1/+1, I guess, helps with smaller units like a Zed or something like that, but...
I wouldn't use mid-rangey to equate with expensive.
I mean, I just like, you can't be as aggressive as early in the game and rally on 3 mana is basically what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but either way, I mean, I think they're both great. I think I like the change to Relentless going to 4. It used to, for anybody who's newer, used to cost 3 and not give a unit +1/+1. Now it costs 4 and does that. So
back in my day, it was fast speed too.
Yeah, it was also fast speed. That was quite some time ago.
To the point where even today, I will mentally take a note of where fast speed Relentless would have been lethal over slow speed Relentless.
I do the same exact thing. Because it's such a minor change, but in some very specific situations, it's actually a pretty impactful change.
It's like, it feels like a minor change, but at the same time, imagine Get Excited was a slow spell instead of a fast spell. Like, that changes everything.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And that is going to be Deriva taking it down there, going up 1-0 versus Void. So we'll get into this next game here in just a second.
And we had both hands the entire time. Isn't that incredible? Good job, production.
We tried.
Good job, Boulevard and
Oh,
JDoza.
oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
wait, hold on. Can we play that back real quick? Can somebody clip that for me? I
Can
think
somebody
because I'm
nuke the admin? Nuke the VODs.
mods, where are you?
VOD check.
VOD check. All right, here we go. Well, this time I'll tell you what, we're at least gonna have the mulligans too. So there we
Yeah,
go.
and you might think you're looking at the same hand twice. No, it's just a plunder mirror. Our first one of the day.
which,
Hadn't avoided forever. Was bound to happen. It's happening now. Void v Deriva.
which is a valid concern because I have done that before.
Yeah,
So-
sometimes you look at both hands and they're exactly the same, and you're like, "Hey, Doza forgot to put up
Did
both
you-
hands." And that's true. Not this time.
So, and these are, yeah, those look very similar to start.
Yeah, actually, I had to make sure mentally.
Yeah.
Like, I know I've been talking about how these aren't the same hands, but looking at them, I see a Monkey Idol, I see a Jagged Butcher, I see a Yordle Grifter.
And here we go. Yeah, we're getting the mirrored up Jagged Butcher to start here too. You basically have to block that. You can't let the opponent get the trigger there on the level up and you not get it. So it makes sense. Not a great draw for Void. Don't really have any moves for this turn unless we want to just open parlay the Nexus here, which we might have to do to just keep up on the damage. And yep, there it is.
Yeah, I don't think you really want to be going into the next turn, you know, still not having any way to proc the Plunder, and then all of a sudden, like, your champions aren't leveling until, like, the Feel the Rush turn.
Yep. All right, that's going to be a proc for Deriva. So I think we're tied up right now, right? 1-1 on the damage procs, the Plunder procs in the Nexus.
Now the Monkey Idol is going to make sure we remain at parity, but no, it's actually just going to be a Harpoon onto the Monkey Idol.
And I like that Harpoon. I like it a lot. I think it's good.
Gangplank is threatening, but so is something that is going to allow your opponent to consistently level up their champions. And with another monster Harpoon off the top, Deriva,
yeah,
feeling like they're in a really good spot here.
Yeah, those are great in this mirror match for exactly the reason we just saw, right? The Monkey Idol, and you mentioned Gangplank. So I do like this a lot.
Void actually going for the Yordle Grifter rather than the wide posturing. Could have gone for just an attack with a Crackshot Corsair and then throw down like Jagged Butcher and Black Market Merchant, get those cost reductions before we start to do all the nabbing. But we get a pretty decent hit in that Mirai Warden as well, going to do a good job of making sure that when we do decide to go wide, we are almost certainly going to be a lot wider than Deriva.
Well, so it's still okay. Ooh, I don't like that warning shot. Maybe the thought was that Deriva's going to warning shot this turn as well, but I feel like next turn makes more sense because then you can also get down your Black Market Merchant and the Jagged Butcher that turn, and still have parity unless Deriva did just waste the warning shot on their end. So I don't know. I mean, I know you fall behind one there, but I would have liked to seen that saved.
Well, we're falling behind anyway. I thought,
yeah.
So that warning shot made sense to me if we ran out another Yordle Grifter this turn. Use that warning shot immediately and then use the Crackshot Corsair to sort of trigger the plunders on the next turn, but just not the case.
All right, well, I mean, maybe Void's got a different different plan than we're thinking right here. I mean, here's the parlay.
Definitely has a different plan. It takes some convincing to get me on board with the fact that it's a better plan.
All right, here's the return parlay, which I would argue is much better, getting rid of the Crackshot Corsair. So there's that guaranteed damage off the board for Void. So we are going to need to use this Yordle Grifter if we're going to get that. Or, okay, make it rain not guaranteed, though.
I do like that neither player has their champions.
Yeah. This
we're talking about all this posturing towards leveling the champions. It looks like both players actually going to get the Nexus pings with the Make It Rain.
And I think Deriva's Make It Rain much better there. I mean, getting 2 units killed. I mean, Deriva in a commanding lead, I'd say. Now, like you mentioned, though, both players don't have champions. You know, Void's a little behind, or maybe even a lot of behind right now. If Void just top decks a Gangplank and Deriva continues to not draw champions, I mean, Void's in the lead.
There's also all the nabbing that Void still has to do. A lot of his economy is currently tied up in. That's not a good hit. That's mediocre. We're looking for give me that one of Feel the Rush. I want to nab that one.
Well, this does guarantee. Oh wait, no, we already got it with the Make It Rain. Never mind. I was gonna say it guarantees the damage proc, but the plunder proc, but.
And actually not even hanging around the Black Market Merchant in order to push through a cost reduction with that Yordle Grifter on the next turn. Just sacrificing it, forcing out the block from the Zap Spray Fin. Both players very cognizant of their life total. I gotta say, I think that baseline Monster Harpoon is going to be better than a couple of nab cards, but it really does just come down to what you nab. Because if you grab that Feel the Rush, there is no replacing that. Or a Dreadway, another super high impact target.
All right, here we go. Do we get a Dreadway off the top? There's the Gangplank.
Oh, we get a Gangplank. Void is drawn first champion.
I'm telling you, I think this might turn it around for Void. That's all you need in this match. And especially, wait, is Gangplank
well, it's going to
now?
immediately... Actually, no, it can no longer immediately die to this Monster Harpoon.
No, I think it's leveled. Yeah, I think if it's not, I think it's 1 away.
It's 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's 1 away.
4 out of 5. And I think that's why we see Void not throw it down here, understanding that you really want this to come down as a 6/6.
Oh, yeah. Big difference there. And we have the warning shot. So we can basically... Ooh. Oh. Wait, could we have played it this turn and then warning shot this turn? Oh, no, because we didn't have it with the Yodel Grifter. Okay.
You could have made it rain and prayed.
Well, I prayed, yeah, but I don't think that's going to work. Because
it's not your attack turn anyway, so, like, you know, it does give you an additional keg if you can get it down post-combat on your opponent's turn, but that can be really hard to posture for.
Ooh, okay, these are 2 pretty good hits.
Yeah, they're not bad hits. It does still force out the warning shot, though. You still haven't gotten your proc for this turn.
Yep. I think you're okay with that, though. I think you're fine. Okay, we're going to do it this turn. All right. I don't know if we're going to wait till
next turn doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure that you do it before you play the Gangplank so that the warning shot doesn't eat the keg and you do get the powderful explosion.
Yeah, and like Boulevard mentioned earlier, the most important part here is, you know, it doesn't die to Monster Harpoon. It does 5 damage.
Yeah, this probably demands double Harpoon.
Honestly, yeah. And I think you're okay with that.
Here.
Yeah, I think you're okay with that, to be honest with you. Yep, here it is. That's gonna now. Void also has Betty Croker to get some more draws. So now I think Void is kind of still in the commanding position, though.
Void's at 5, and he's gonna be at 4 by the end of the turn thanks to this Monkey Idol. And then there's 2 Crackshot Corsairs out.
Well, they're probably gonna trade though. You can't take all this damage, right?
Can't you?
I don't know.
We'll both go to 5, buddy. I don't care. Hold my hand down the 8th place. Sejuani off the top 4, Void, though, doing a much better job than Deriva of drawing the champions. But all it takes is a Gangplank draw from Deriva, and that is the last 2 damage that we need to push through for lethal. So definitely not out of the woods yet. It's still anybody's game. Both players banking in full spell mana for the Field Rush potential top deck.
Yeah, and what's interesting to me is I had mentioned if you draw Gangplank, you know, you're probably going to be in a commanding position at that point. It's funny.
Deriva doesn't play Field Rush.
Well, that was the case. Void drew the Gangplank. We didn't even really use the Gangplank, but what it allowed Void to do is get rid of basically all of Deriva's resources because you cannot let Gangplank stick around.
Ooh, Grifter.
There it is. There's Grifter off the top. What do we have?
We need 1 more. Monster Harpoon's nice, but it's not what we needed.
Nope.
But we are still...
We're still in it,
Do we have any warning shots left? There are 3 in the deck. We could still top deck warning shot.
Ooh, this is close.
Top deck warning shot.
All right, we're just sacrificing the Crackshot Corsair to the gods here.
Yep, this game is ending next turn one way or another, Doza.
Yep.
Gotta be a warning shot top deck from Deriva, as I imagine Void is going in for the open attack. Sejuani is a little bit shy of lethal on her own, but it's Fortune Croaker.
And there's definitely going to be an open attack. I don't see why we developed any Croaker. And yeah, that is gonna be Void.
You have the Monster Harpoon. You're taking 3, 4.
Well, no, because you can't stop the overwhelm from the Sejuani.
5.
Yeah, we have the warning shot. Even 3 from Sejuani, 1 from Crackshot, and then the warning shot.
Nope. Exact lethal. Good job, Cash.
We're doing some psych out right here on the part of Deriva.
We're thinking about
we're hovering to make Void think. Like, Void, oh, I gotta hit the surrender button. My opponent has it, right? Like, that's...
I think Void is more like, has what?
Yeah.
You slip an Entomb in there?
Yeah, do you think... Actually, that's a fair question. So, Deriva getting taken down there. Void gonna tie it up at 1-1. Do you think that they should make a change to allow putting, hanging burst speed spells on the stack? Like they still interact like a burst speed spell would interact, but you just have the ability to like hover it as like a psych out or something like that.
I don't give a shit.
No, you don't care.
No, it's one of those things. Like, there are some unintuitive burst speed spells. It would be nice to be able to see how it plays out before you commit it. But part of being good at card games is understanding how your cards work. So I think that we don't want to make everybody reliant on the eye to the point where if you show me a Legends of Runeterra card, I have no idea how it works until I hover the eye.
Isn't that like Yu-Gi-Oh though? You don't have any idea how it works unless you played for 5 years.
Like, yes, sure.
I'm not reading
You know,
that
you
card
always talk
text.
about, oh, can we go one cast without Boulevard bringing up his world champion? Can I go one cast without you bringing up Yu-Gi-Oh?
Dude, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Give me a break, bro. All right, God. Jeez, it was like
I do think so. What we should do actually is we should follow the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime where the cards have no text on them and they come with an
yeah,
instruction that you have
you
to
just
read
know
to
what it
understand the
does.
card. Because then you can just get up here and lie. Like they're like Pot of Greed. I think it was like Pot of Greed. He's like he draws 2 cards, or maybe it was Dragon Capture Jar, and Yugi's like wrong. I read the instruction manual on Dragon Capture Jar.
And this is
There's
what it
a
does.
loophole in paragraph 5, subsection B, where today Blue Eyes is not a dragon; he's a wyvern. So he gets out of your jar.
Wow, a wyvern. All right.
Yeah.
Really getting into the lore there.
Blue Eyes White Drake.
All right, getting some early heal here. So this is a pretty typical matchup, you know, regardless of the 2 decks that we see here. We see this all the time. There's more of a late game trying to get to that one big whopper of a card, Field of Rush. So we have to play some heal spells, stick some stuff on the board as chump blockers versus a far more aggressive deck in this Plunder deck that is going to try to run it down before Field of Rush can really be a thing, because Field of Rush basically deals with the Sejuani and the Gangplank later on in the game when they do come down.
Yeah.
Unless Deriva has a
yeah.
Field of Rush. Yeah, that's it. That's what I got. It's a yeah.
That's all I got. Sorry, I was thinking about so at the last seasonal, Freljord did not show up at all. It was there were 2 Freljord decks that made the top 32. There was only 1 Freljord deck that was played in the top 32 it was the 3rd Bandle Tree deck. Proto Poro was the only Freljord card in the entirety of the top 32 once we actually got there. Now, Plunder has taken over the meta. We're seeing a lot of Field of Rush and Thralls coming out to counter the Plunder meta. Is Freljord going to be like top dog this time around?
I mean, it might be. It very much might be. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Bandle City might be. If you, what do you think is going to be the highest represented region in Top Cut? I think I'd say Bandle City
In this seasonal?
Yeah.
Just the region, not the deck necessarily.
Just the region, yeah,
okay.
just the region.
Oh, that's
what region
tough.
has the most top decks that you expect to see?
I mean, I want to say PNZ, but I know that's not going to be the case.
I was thinking like, okay, yeah, Plunder, and then I'm like, oh, without Nami, there really isn't another Bilgewater deck. So like, I don't think it's
Bilgewater's not too hot, and like you said, Freljord. Oh well, you know what? Maybe Freljord, and I say Freljord because of Thralls, because Thralls have a good shot at making a lot of decks, or a lot of decks making it to the top cut, and then Field of Rush. And I think those are 2 decks that are poised to do pretty well in the seasonal overall, because Field of Rush has a good Plunder matchup, like I just mentioned here. In general, Thrall seems to have good matchups across the board. So they might just eke it out where Freljord is most represented.
Where we just get a bunch of Plunder versus the counter Freljord decks, and that's just the entire meta.
I mean, that might, maybe. Doesn't mean it's a great, a great outcome.
It's not a great strategy. We don't love to see it, but you might see it, kind of thing.
All right, so we got a pretty wide board of Deriva here. 8 health from Void, and a Ruination off the top. Not going to do a whole lot right now, though.
Yeah, Void has not been able to really bank the spell mana here, and going to take a bit more damage from this Make It Rain. Monster Harpoons now online to clear out the board. I think this is going to be a really
I think Deriva's got it.
Open attack.
Yeah,
Deriva start the next round.
And just as I'm saying, Field of Rush has a pretty good matchup versus Plunder. I mean, this is just too aggressive of a start for Deriva.
Tavern Keeper can still come down, but it'll also get cleared by Monster Harpoon. We have Flash Freeze, but that is still a lot of damage coming through just on the Gangplank tack alone.
Yep.
And with Void being down to just 6 Nexus health, now going up to 9, I think he lives.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he lives at like 2.
Well, and we can also rip a Ruination the following turn, which basically sets everything back to equal. So Void has the potential to stabilize depending on what Deriva top decks. Because if we draw like some more Make It Range or Yordle Grifters, then that might just be the last couple of damage you need. Ooh,
you can't Ruination this turn. The Flash Freeze is going to take you.
No. I was gonna say next turn, but now we can just Vengeance the Gangplank instead, and this is better, I think.
My concern with Ruination, it's always scary to Ruination on your own attack token turn, because then you're tapped out and your opponent just gets to completely redevelop into an open attack. And with you at 2, that's a very scary open attack. But Deriva has drawn, I believe this is the 3rd Gangplank. Yeah. 2 of them have been Vengeanced. We just draw the 3rd, no problem. Good players draw good cards.
Yeah. And this is going to make it really tough. We can We could try to lure something like the Gangplank out by playing the pillar first. Oh, okay, it just comes out now. I don't like that from Deriva at all.
Not crazy about that myself.
Yeah, I'm very surprised we played that. Like, I was thinking, I was thinking lure that out with the pillar, and I didn't even think Deriva was going to play it there.
With Void being so low, you don't have to do anything. You can just say, hey, next turn, I just kill you with these. If you want to take the open passes, we can do that. Maybe worried about a Withering Whale because your 2/2/1, your 3 units that are actually attacking, do not actually kill your opponent through a Withering Whale. But the top deck of the Dreadway, again, good players draw good cards.
This is...
but that's not enough because we're out of Gangplanks, which means this Dreadway is grabbing nothing. The Flash Freeze is still available for Void.
And then we get Field of Rush. So this might be where Void stabilizes. I'm very curious. We'll see what the top deck from Deriva is.
Oh, Monkey Idol is actually terrifying because that represents 2 damage over a few turns.
Vile Feast takes care of one of them. So that'll be good. And honestly, I don't know. It might not be fast enough, though, because we have Atrocity as well. So we get 1 good attack off next turn with Field of Rush. And then we Atrocity, and I think that's lethal. And then the Vile Feast saves us from 1 of the damage if that's a threat. So this is close.
Does Dreadway
double? Oh, wait. Yeah, Dreadway's going to double it, so they still do 1 damage, even if we use the Vile Feast. Wait, this might just be lethal here. Never mind. Because 2 Trundle and Tryndamere now? I mean, is this just too much overwhelm damage? This might just be lethal.
Unless the monkey kills.
Wait.
Because Field of Rush puts you below Vile Feast mana.
Oh.
I don't know if the Monkey Idol deals 2 on death or not, because I think it just says units though, right? Not like
I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, no, like watch. It says
all spells, skills, and allies. I think so.
Allies. I think that falls under the allies category.
Yeah. It has to, right? It has to. What we're getting at here, folks, is this game is over. And we talked a little bit earlier about you have to know what your cards do. We don't. We don't have to know what your cards do. We just get to set it up and watch the dominoes fall, baby. And that's what's about to happen here.
That feels so bad. Like, wait, what? Even if it was Vile Feast, what happens first if we had Vile Feast mana?
I don't know. But we're killing the Dreadway anyway because it does have vulnerable, so it doesn't even really matter.
Okay, all right, we're good. We're safe. So that's game then. Wow,
that would have been potential of a Warning Shot top deck, but nah, I think this is just lethal from all the overwhelm, 13. Right? I'm trying to add it up.
Oh, no, we're 1 off. I think we're 2 off, maybe? It's not lethal. Okay. Let's go with that.
Sure.
Wait,
it was lethal. By 2.
I knew it. That's what I said. That's what I said.
You open your mouth. Yeah, Doza will tell me if it's lethal or not.
I told you it was lethal. You didn't listen to me.
You said it was 1 off.
Yeah, well, you misheard.
Oh, you meant it was 1 off on Deriva's side.
Yeah.
That's what you meant. That's what you
exactly.
meant.
See, you know.
1 off for Deriva.
You know. I knew it the whole time.
But that does mean that Void is actually going to pick up that win 2-1.